And I know I want to do the forgiveness work for myself, but every time that person reaches out to me, I just want to yeah. So I am still far from peace of mind. But yeah, I just want to jump. Yeah, let's just leave it that way. But yeah, be patient with yourself. It's not gonna happen quickly, especially if the hurt was really bad. Do you want to know how to forgive someone? If so, keep watching. Hi, my name is Amina and I'm a life coach. I'm here to help you with your questions. So if you have questions and suggestions, please leave them in the comment section below and I will get back to you as soon as possible. If you like what I do here, please subscribe and like and share and help me spread the word to help other people. Today I want to talk about forgiveness because I'm currently in the process of trying to forgive some people and it's not easy. I thought I was done with that, but yeah, sometimes you just get triggered and then you remember and then you realize that, oh, you know what, I am not done with this. So yeah, so let's talk about it. And I'm gonna give you some tips that I'm currently using and I hope it's gonna help you as well. Tip number 1 is become aware of your grievances. So I mean that you need to know who you're mad at and you need to know why, because I've noticed in my case that many times I was really angry at some people, but I didn't even realize because I didn't see them all the time, and even when I saw them, it's just hi, and then everybody continues to live their life. It's just that it's just when you get triggered that you realize that, oh, I am actually mad at that person. And so you need to be aware of that. And one method that I like and that I discovered is from Stefan Speaks, so Stefan Labossière, and it's in his book called Finding Love After Heartbreak. And so in his book he talks about the first step 1 in the healing process, and it's making a list of all the people who hurt you, and it's called the Who Hurt Me list. And so you write a list. So you have your pen and paper and then you ask yourself, who hurt me? And any names that comes, you just put it on paper. You don't try to edit, you don't try to say, oh, but I thought I was done with. No, if somebody comes, even if it's something that happened 20 years ago, 15 years ago, 10 years ago, just write it, because it's relevant. If the name of the person is coming, it's for a reason. So write everything, and at least you're gonna have a list with all the people that you're mad at, every grievances you can have. So step number 2, so I in my case, I did the list. I didn't go to the last name. I mean, like I chose the first people that came to my mind, and to be honest, it's when I was triggered that I was aware that, oh, those people, I need to work on that. So yeah, it was mostly thanks to the triggers, but I also used the list, but I didn't do it till the end because I didn't have really I won't say the patience, but I knew I needed to focus on some specific people. So that's why. So step 2 is decide to forgive and stick to it. So now you know that, oh, I am still mad at that person, or I'm still hurt by that person. Now I need to decide that I want to forgive them. And when I say I want to forgive them, that doesn't mean you're gonna forgive them in 3 seconds. Sometimes it's gonna take a lot of time, but at least you decide on a day, okay, today is the day that I decide to forgive that person. And so you have a clear mark, and you start the process of starting to forgive the person. I remember hearing a woman talking about her book on forgiveness, and she was explaining that, like, she's a Christian woman, and she was saying, oh, I wrote I read on the Bible this and that, and it was pretty clear, but it was very difficult to apply. So, and she was saying that we really need to be patient with the process, and we really need to forgive ourselves if we cannot do it right away. So even if you decide to forgive the person, it's not gonna happen right away unless, I don't know, there's something, a miracle or whatever. But yeah, it's not gonna happen right away. But at least you have made a decision, and you know you want to forgive, and that's a good start. So step number 3, decide if you want to stay in touch with a person or not. So some people can be very difficult to be around, and it's even worse when they hurt you or when you're mad at them. So you need to decide. So each person on the list, at least take the 5 most important people who hurt you and decide, okay, I want to forgive them. Do I want them to still be in my life? Yes or no? And if it's yes, you need to take the proper measures to make sure that they don't hurt you anymore, and that you're not going to be triggered regularly. And I want to add that the forgiveness process is for you. It's not for the person. You're not giving them a favor because you're forgiving them. You're freeing yourself when you decide to forgive them, because when you're mad at somebody, when you're hurt, the bad stuff are happening in you. So the toxic hormones that are floating around in your body, it's not happening to them, it's happening to you. So when you decide to forgive them, at least you're seeking for peace, and peace of mind is always a good thing for your health. So think about that. So before we move on to the next point, I want to let you know that I have a one-on-one coaching service. So if you're interested in working with me as a life coach, you can reach out to me using the link in my to my website in the description box, and we'll do what is necessary to start doing the work. I also have a blog, and I talk about the same kind of subjects. It's just that it's in written form. So if you like to read, you can give it a shot. Thanks in advance. So the next step is be patient with yourself. So I think I already talked about that when I talked about the Christian woman. And yes, you need to be patient with yourself. It's not gonna happen fast. It will be difficult in some situation. I know exactly. I have in mind one in particular, and I know I want to do the forgiveness work for myself, but every time that person reaches out to me, I just want to yeah. So I am still far from peace of mind. But yeah, I just want to jump. Yeah, let's just leave it that way. But yeah, be patient with yourself. It's not gonna happen quickly, especially if the hurt was really bad, let's say. But yeah, you have to be patient with yourself. And the title that I have for this video is actually Forgiveness is a Discipline. And when you're patient with yourself, that means you need to remember that it's not gonna happen fast, but I'm gonna stick to it because it's a discipline. I decided to forgive that person. So I need to keep my word, and I keep doing the work of when I'm triggered, I calm myself down. I remember as a mantra that, forgiveness is a discipline. That's what I do actually. Every time I'm triggered, I'm like, forgiveness is a discipline, and I made a decision to forgive. So every time I'm triggered, that's what I remind myself, and it helps me to calm down. I'm not to the point where I am no longer triggered, but at least when it happens, I can calm myself down and go back to calm position, if I can say. Okay, another tip is, like I was saying, forgiveness is for you. It's not for the other person. You're not doing the forgiveness work because you're giving them a favor. You're doing this for your health. You're doing this for your peace of mind. You're doing this for the quality of your life. So keep that in mind every time you're triggered. Keep that in mind that it's for you. It's not for them. Another tip is don't give up. It's very important because many times you're going to be triggered. Many times you're going to think that, yes, I'm done. It's finally over. I forgive that person. And then they're going to do or say something at some point, and you're going to be really mad or really hurt. And you're going to remember that, oh, you know what? I am not done yet. But don't give up. It's not because you thought you were free and you're actually not, that you will need to give up. For anything that is really important in your life, you don't give up. So it's the same thing here with forgiving the person. You know that it's very important for you, even if you fail kind of the first time, the second time, the fifth time. Don't give up. Check your progress. Do you feel that you're less triggered? Do you feel that you're less angry? So those could be a good signs that you're moving in the right direction. So don't give up. And once you're done with the one person on the list, you can move on to the next one. So I think Stefan in his book is saying that you need to do it person by person. I read it, like, I don't remember when, but if I remember correctly, I think it was one person at a time. So in my case, because I can be triggered by many people at the same time, so I tend to want to put everybody in the same box and focus on something that is more spiritual perspective, like, it's not about you, it's about them, and you were the one hurt because you're on the way. If it wasn't you, it would be another person. So I try to keep that in mind, and I do it as a bulk instead of one by one. But I agree with him that it needs to be done one by one. But in my case, because I have maybe 3 people that kind of did the same thing to me, so that's why I'm treating them as a bulk instead of one by one. But yeah, just do every person one person at a time. I think it will be better for your focus rather than trying to do everybody at the same time. Yes, I'm doing those people at the same time because it's the same trigger. Let's say that. Okay, so as a recap, to help you with your forgiveness process, so number 1, become aware of your grievances. So you need to make a list of the people you're actually mad at or you feel hurt every time you see them. Number 2 is decide to forgive and stick to it. Number 3, decide if you want to stay in touch with the people or not. Number 4, be patient with yourself because it's not an easy process and it can take a lot of time. Number 5, remember that it's for you, the forgiveness work, it's not for them. So that can be encouraging, rather than thinking that, oh, I'm doing them a favor. No, you're doing it for you. Number 6 is don't give up, because many times you're gonna fail, you're gonna go back to rage sometimes. But you need to remember that it's okay. It's a process. It's going to be a cycle. And one day you're going to wake up and you will realize that, oh, you know what? I actually don't care anymore. But it's going to take some time. And number 7, I think, move to the next person once you're done with the first person on the list. So you can do it by order of importance, meaning that the person who hurt you the most. Or you can do like a Dave Ramsey, like a snowball. So you start with a small one and then you move to the worst. At least when you start with somebody who hurt you less compared to the other people, you're gonna gain momentum, and then you just roll the ball until you get to the hard stuff. And because you will be trained with the first one, you're gonna have more skills to deal with the next person. Okay, so that's it for today. Don't forget to subscribe and like if you like and share if you like what I do here. If you have questions and suggestions, please leave them in the comment section below and I will get back to you. And my question for you today is, have you found a way to forgive people? I won't say that is fast, but something that really worked. So if so, can you share it with us, for all of us that are trying to forgive somebody? That's it for today. In the meantime, I wish you a good week, and I will see you next time. Bye.